Today on Goodbye Heartbreak, Hello Purpose.
What's wrong with thinking about my future and what could be? I think that's a good thing. Well, it's a good thing to a point, right? It's a good thing for you to think about your future so that you can plan it out. But at some point, you have to come back to the present. Hey sis, welcome to the Goodbye Heartbreak, Hello Purpose podcast, the place where you learn how to move forward from heartbreak and achieve wholeness through emotional healing, spiritual growth, uncovering identity and behavior patterns, and saying yes to the calling God placed in your life. I'm your host, Candace Baddies, and I know what it's like to be heartbroken and confused about who you are and what God created you to do. But I also know what it's like to be healed and whole with clarity. If you're ready to have your broken heart mended, grow your faith, and discover who you are, why you do what you do, and what you were created to do, look no further. You're definitely in the right place. So kick off those cute shoes that's been hurting your feet all day and turn me up in those earbuds. We're about to get into it. Hey sis, so listen, we got some things to get into today. I have such a great episode for you on today, and I got some things I want you to stop doing and something I want you to start doing. So we're going to get into that in just a minute. But before we do, of course, we got housekeeping business to take care of. So we're going to go through this really quick, y'all. So number one, if you have not hit the subscribe button, sis, I want you to stop tripping and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss anything. Y'all, there's so much good stuff coming up. I'm telling you, September is full of episodes, okay? And so you need to get that notification every time an episode drops so you don't miss a thing, all right? Also, number two, if you have not left your 5-star written review, please go leave your 5-star written review. And I'm going to read one right now. The title is Love This, and it's from Kelly Falkenberry. And it reads, I listened and left encouraged to know who I am in the middle of the struggle and know God's got me and walking through with peace and healing. Thank you, sis, for this 5-star written review. I'm glad that you know it too. I'm so glad that you found encouragement in the episodes, and I want you to keep continuing to listen, to heal, grow, become, and thrive. Okay, I love it. I love to hear it, you guys. And then the last thing I want to do today is to say, hey, my website is finally live. If you didn't get to it yesterday, please go check it out today. CandaceABaddies.com. I'll link it in the show notes, but you can go there and get a copy of my book, Goodbye Heartbreak, Hello Purpose, a 365-day devotional. You guys, it is good, okay? If I must say so myself, but I'm not bragging on me, I'm bragging on God, because I am just a co-author of this book. I do believe that God has definitely come through, shined through. I could not have done it without him. So if you haven't checked it out yet, go ahead, pre-order your copy, and you will be able to use a discount code, which is pre-order, to get a 25% discount. So pre-orders only get a 25% discount, you guys, okay? So go ahead, snag your copy, go ahead on to the website and get it all done. I'm excited, y'all. So now, without further ado, let's get into today's episode. So today we're going to talk about these 2 secrets that are keeping you from healing your broken heart and the number 1 way to overcome them. Oh my goodness. So I just want to say before I get started that I am guilty of them, okay? So that's how I know you might be dealing with the same thing. And the thing about it is, well, let's just dig in, okay? I call them secrets, not because they're good things. Again, they're keeping you from healing your broken heart, and you probably don't even know you're doing it. You're spending time, like I'm telling you, you're spending your valuable time doing these 2 things and not even realizing it. What are they? 1, looking back at yesterday, and 2, looking too far ahead. Yes, living in the past and living in the future. Those are 2 things that we do so often. And the thing about it is we often do it in times when we don't want to deal with what's going on. So we constantly think about what was going on in the past and maybe how good it was or whatever the case is, or we're looking too far ahead. But you can't change the past. and you can't predict your future. So all you're really doing is three other things, which is fantasizing, worrying, and or obsessing. Yes. So these three things, they happen when you living in the past or living in the future, okay? And so let me just define these three things for you so you can really get an idea of what I'm talking about here. So when you're fantasizing about something, you're daydreaming about something that you desire, something that you want to have, something that you want to happen. So during this season of heartbreak, you may be fantasizing about what your life is going to look like when you meet the right person or when you get married. You're fantasizing about having a family. You're fantasizing about all these things, but yet you are currently heartbroken, hurting, sad, lonely, and we're not dealing with that. Okay. And so when you are worrying is when you give way to anxiety or unease. You're allowing your mind to just, sometimes we worry about the past. Unfortunately, we worry about things that have already happened and we can't change them. And we often worry about the future because we don't know what's going to happen in the future and we're afraid, we're anxious about it, so we worry about it. And again, that is not helpful for us in this season. And then when you're obsessing is when you continually preoccupy your mind with something or someone to the point that it becomes troublesome. It becomes a problem. When you're obsessing over something, it's kind of taken over all of your thoughts. You're not really thinking about much else because you're obsessed with this one thing. That is your focus. That's what's at the forefront of your mind. When you wake up in the morning, that's what you're thinking about. When you go to bed, that's what you're thinking about. And so during this season of heartbreak, it could be that you're obsessing over the person that you just got out of a relationship with. It could be that you're obsessing about maybe another person whom you think that person likes or, is maybe dating or something like that. You could be obsessing over the life that you could have had. You could be obsessing over the life that you want to have in the future. And so, you really have to watch this because again, our mind sometimes it just wanders, it goes and we just let it. We're not intentional about our thoughts. And when you're not intentional about your thoughts, you just letting your mind go and it becomes what they say, an idle mind becomes the devil's playground. And it kind of seems that way. And so it's like because you're going through this, our flesh naturally, it's like our mind has defense mechanisms. And because you don't want to kind of think about the hurtful and painful stuff, you go ahead and you think about what could have been. You romanticize your past when it may not have been as great as you are thinking that it is right now. But because you don't have it right now, because you're dealing with this hurt, you're trying to make yourself feel better by thinking that, well, maybe I could have made this work or maybe I could have made that work. And let me tell you, sis, that is no way to live, okay? We got to get past that. I've been there and it was a struggle because I would prefer to live in the past, live in the future, than to deal with what's going on. And so when you do these things, you're unable to heal. You're not able to move forward. And during this time, you might say that you're healing, right? But if you're doing any of these three things, then you can't heal. It is going to absolutely prevent you from healing. So the number one thing that will help you overcome living in the past and living in the future and begin healing right now, you may have guessed it, right? Because I think I've said it a couple of times, but live in the moment, sis. You have to live in the moment. Living in the moment, dealing with what you are going through, dealing with your emotions, dealing with your feelings, dealing with thoughts, dealing with hurt, betrayal, everything that you may have experienced, dealing with the unforgiveness, dealing with the hard stuff, right? The hard and hurtful things. That is what's going to help you. I know it doesn't feel good to live here, right? In the present. You prefer to be in the present when things are all good, but when things are not going your way, when you've been hurt, betrayed, when you are feeling low and down, nobody wants to live there, right? Nobody wants to be there. But sis, it is imperative and essential to your healing journey that you live in the present. You really absolutely have to. Because the thing about it is, if you are serious about healing, you have to remember that healing doesn't take place in the past. So as long as you're living in your past, again, you can't heal. And healing doesn't take place in the future. So as long as you're fantasizing, obsessing over the future, again, you can't heal. Healing only happens in the here and now. Therefore, you have to be present, sis. You have to be present. You have to live in the present, and you got to be here to heal. So, we have to remember that the only place that we actually exist, right? Because again, you can't exist in the past. You can't exist in the future. You exist now. So you can't do anything. I know it feels better to just fantasize about what could have been, what could be. And, worrying and obsessing about the past really, I don't think it feels good, but I think some people prefer it to actually dealing with the pain of the present. Regardless of what your mind wants to wander to, you're going to have to control your thoughts. You're going to have to take certain thoughts captive. Even those thoughts that you're like, what's wrong with thinking about my future and what could be? I think that's a good thing. Well, it's a good thing to a point, right? It's a good thing for you to think about your future so that you can plan it out. But at some point, you have to come back to the present and do what's necessary in order to get to the place that you want to be. So what's the thing that you can do to make your past, your present, and your future really work for you, right? Because, it can work for you. It's not all bad. It's when you live there. Again, it's when you worry, obsess, and fantasize about those two places that it becomes a problem. But it can work for you and in your favor. So how? You take what you've learned from your past to help you in your present season, right? There are lessons from what you endured in that relationship, who you became, just the things that maybe you didn't know before that now moving forward. Okay, you know what to look out for, you know what to look for, you know what you're not going to accept or settle for in the future. You take all of that with you into this present moment, right? And you start putting it to work for you in your favor. You start developing your non-negotiables as you're going about your healing journey. You start, declaring things over your life. And praying and asking God to open your eyes and make you vigilant, make you discerning to certain things so that you don't find yourself in this situation again. Like I said, and you put the work in to heal in the present so you can be whole in the future and have the life that you desire. So that's how you make those three things come together for you. You take what you've learned from the past, you put it to work for you in your present so that you can heal now in your present. And that way you're able to have the life that you desire and you can become whole. Okay. That is the goal. Wholeness says, healing says you want to be whole, healed, and you want to thrive in the future, but you have to work it out in the present. Your healing process is a journey, right? It's such a journey, but it happens one day at a time. It's one day at a time. And so the last thing you want to do is wake up 1 year, 5 years, 10 years down the line and wonder, man, what happened to me? Why am I still so unforgiving? Why am I so hard? Why is my heart so hard? Why can't I let anyone in? Why can't I love anybody else? Why can't I let anybody love me? Why do I keep ending up in these dysfunctional relationships? The answer to all of that may be that you never took the time to be in the present and to heal. You have to take the time, the necessary time. Don't jump into another relationship. Don't fantasize about what could be. Don't obsess over what your ex is doing. Don't, worry about the unknowns. They will take care of themselves. Again, there will be less unknowns if you work and prepare today for tomorrow. So I just want to encourage you with this word because, man, I have lived there. And even though it may not be heartbreak right now, I still struggle with it. I had to tell myself, girl, you got so much going on. Yeah, it's cool to fantasize about the future because obsessing and worrying I've gotten better with. But that whole fantasizing thing, I fantasize about my future a lot, even now. But I have to bring myself back and say, girl, come get this work done. You are never going to get to that place if you don't put the work in today. So I have to say, hey, girl, come on back down. Come on back to the present. Plan, prep, do what you got to do, because fantasizing, wishing for something will not make it happen. Dwelling on the past, sitting in misery from things that have already happened will not change the outcome of a situation. It won't do anything for your present moment. I want you to be healed, sis. And again, it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight, but you can see progress day by day, little by little, and that small little progress, that small little whatever action step that you may be putting in day in and day out will eventually lead to something big, something great. And you're going to see great changes in your life, and you're going to realize that, hey, I'm not hurting like I used to. I haven't cried in a while. I actually could see him on social media and not have the wind knocked out of me, right? And that, my friend, my sister, is progress in the healing journey. That's what I want for you. And as time goes on, it will get better and better and better as you continue to work in each present moment, okay? Living in the present is the number way to overcome these thoughts of worry, obsession, and fantasizing about your past and future, okay? So I hope this helps you. I hope it gives you something to think about and chew on. Come over, join us in the Facebook group for some extra encouragement. Come tell me what your thoughts are about this episode. What's your favorite part that you took from it? What's something maybe you struggle with? Come over to the Facebook group and share with us, with me, so that we can support one another and cheer each other on in this process, okay? All right. I love you, sis, and I'll talk to you again really soon. Bye.
Hey, sis. Listen, if you've been blessed, changed, or inspired by this podcast in any way, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. This is the #1 way that you can thank me and show support for the show. Also, if this podcast blessed you, don't keep it to yourself. Do a quick share and bless someone else. Please know I am so grateful for each and every one of you, and I would love to hear from you. Come connect with me and other like-minded individuals in my Facebook group called Christian Women Overcoming Heartbreak and Finding Purpose. I can't wait to meet you back here really soon. Until then, remember to love the life you have while you're making it better. Love you, sis.